He's my father, he's your father, he is everyone's father, the progenitor of our collective species, made in the image of the gods. How could anyone hate Adam? He might genuinely be the fandom's most beloved character, and I don't see a problem with that fact. In the last video in this series we talked about the godfather of the cosmos, Zeus, and so of course today we will discuss his opponent in Ragnarok, the first man and the father of humanity, Adam. So if you find yourself entertained at any point during the video, then consider liking, subscribing and ringing that bell. Anyway, on with the video. Adam's introduction comes straight after the defeat of Lu Bu in round 1, at a time when humanity was plunged into despair, having their slimmer of hope that they could maybe match the gods, be snuffed out. Human history's strongest warrior was splattered across the arena floor, and the gods were chanting about their superiority. It's understandable that humanity had given up in their hearts, and so almost as if to say, how dare you make my children cry, the father fights in round 2. Adam being the strongest human fighter, which I think we can all agree is just facts, is so poetic as it hits down to our deepest psyches as humans. I mean, it's the classic child view that your dad is the strongest in the world and can do anything. To a child, their dad is like a superhero who can fix any problem and save the day. And so of course Adam fulfills that role for all his children, coming in at the height of their despair to give them hope and save the day. When Brunhild picks Adam before he's even mentioned to be fighting, she says they must bet on the man with the strongest will. And I don't think there is a better way to describe Adam than that. Also want to quickly note how right before Adam enters the ring, it says thanks to the gods the arena's all nice and clean, as if to really rub in how the gods are completely in control here, having erased the death of humanity's greatest warrior as if it was nothing. Well, they may have thought they were in control, until we see a pillar arise from the centre of the arena and atop it a familiar silhouette. Rushing out to accompany him come animals, both mighty predators like lions and graceful prey like sheep. After all, humans are stewards of the earth and its creatures. Standing atop a pillar above them, Adam stands both physically and metaphorically as the top of the animal kingdom, hence why they come to bow down in his presence, the bow being important as it's one of respect, not fear. Adam isn't the top dog due to his power, but due to his human kindness that garners respect. As a steward of the earth he was kind to its creatures, but now it was time to fight both their and his creators. Making a fist a sign of rebellion, Adam jumps down, making a crater in the arena with said fist. The arena, I remind you, the gods just made nice and clean, is a sign of his rebellion against their work and actions, leaving a permanent mark. As stated, the gods despised him, and at least according to Brunhild, that hatred was reciprocated. A creator who hates what they created and a creation that hates their creator, that is the setup for this round, the ultimate expression of rebellion, of humankind stand against the gods for their own survival, which is of course why his most fitting opponent is the king of the gods and the mightiest of his creators, Zeus. Also, to quickly slip in here, there's a bit where it says the gods were aroused by Adam's appearance, which is a bit weird, but I guess it goes more into the ego of the gods as a whole, since, you know, Adam was made in their image, so them being aroused by what is essentially a clone of them really speaks to their own ego. Before the round begins, Adam's Volond with Reginleif the Valkyrie, whose name means daughter of the gods. Their union is almost like a joint front from the gods' creations rising up to bite back, with her taking the form of a knuckle duster. This being quite a fitting weapon for Adam. He, as said, is a master of unarmed combat, and a knuckle duster in simple terms just gives your strikes a stat increase. Their fight begins with Zeus unleashing a barrage of attacks, all of which Adam dodges. Zeus says he can't win just by dodging and running away, which Adam acknowledges, but I think the fact Adam is so passive, only ever countering once Zeus attacks, is very telling of his true goals in fighting, though I'll get into detail on what I mean by that in a little bit. Adam is revealed to be able to perfectly replicate the moves of the gods thanks to his eyes of the Lord, allowing him to nail Zeus back with the same moves the GFOC had unleashed on him moments before. This power of his is the result of his creation. The gods made man in their image, so Adam is far more divine in design than the rest of the human race. He can copy the techniques of the gods as he is basically a mirror made in their image. This speaks a lot to the ego of the gods. They created their own worst enemy, but were so arrogant they didn't even realise, being surprised when the creation they made to match them actually matches them. As Brunhild says, he can take the pride and the arrogance of the gods and shove it up their arse. He is the literal embodiment of their actions coming back to bite them, both their actions of creating their perfect counter and of trying to wipe out his children. After the next barrage of blows, Adam downs Zeus with a mighty kick, As stated, the omnipotent, omniscient Zeus has been knocked off its feet. Now, as said in the Zeus video, this moment says a lot about the truth of the gods and that they aren't really all powerful. But on Adam's side, this also shows humanity can overcome the idea of an omnipotent god and drag them down to being mortal beings that can be beaten. After this display, Adam says he doesn't want to be doing this, a hint at his true feelings, but says since it's a match he must, aka his true goal is worth fighting for even though he by nature sees little use in exerting power over others. Zeus, overjoyed by this, unleashed his killer move, the fist that surpassed time. And Adam of course surpasses that fist, knocking Zeus' sorry, no pops, down for the count. Zeus the omnipotent god could surpass even time. Not even the fundamental laws of reality could oppose his might. Yet here comes Adam knocking Zeus down as if to say even if you break the laws of time and space, that doesn't make you invincible or unreachable. Now it's about time we get to talking about Adam's backstory. Adam, back some 7 million years ago, lived in the Garden of Eden with his wife Eve. It was a peaceful, idyllic place where the meanest of predators and the meekest of prey slept together in harmony. It was an artificial paradise. Eden, though, however peaceful it seemed on the surface, was the land of the gods, so it could never really be a paradise. Eve was framed by the serpent from eating from the tree of knowledge, and so in the courts of the gods was sentenced to banishment from the garden. And so Adam, barging into the courtroom as the verdict was given, brought with him baskets of those same apples. And what did he do to the apples the gods valued so highly? He took a bite from each and spat them back out. He spat out the fruit, the gifts of the gods, as he didn't need them or their Garden of Eden. He took his wife's hand and willingly left to earth with her. The Garden of Eden was no paradise, just a plaything of the gods, so Adam wanted no part of it. Sure, life would be harder on the surface, but it would be their life, not one dictated to them by the gods. They'd create their own paradise. Adam never sought to take revenge on the gods for their actions against Eve. I mean, I know he killed the serpent, but that's only because he attacked first. And I don't imagine Adam would have gone anywhere near as harsh otherwise. The point of this flashback then is that it shows Adam's true motives, not revenge, but love. And so back in the present, it's proclaimed by many that Adam has now completed his revenge, getting back at the gods for his expulsion from Eden. However, as Zeus gets back up and asks the real reason Adam fights, we get a much different answer. Probably the most iconic line, arguably the best moment in the entire series. Is there any man that needs a reason to protect his own children? This declaration, for the first time in human history, made everyone stand as one. It united us all, no matter our differences, because no matter what we believe or what we choose to do, the fact remains we are all siblings of the same race, all children of the same man. Love, that is what Adam fought for. No hatred, no revenge. He just loved his children and wanted to protect them. It's why I said earlier him never taking the initiative is such good writing. He is only ever reactionary. Even his ability is one that counters. He can't attack without seeing the attack first, because he never goes out of his way to hurt others. He only ever fights to protect his wife or his children. Adam will never start a fight, but he will end one if it means protecting those he cares for. Even to Zeus, the big evil god that wants to wipe out humanity, he still advises him to tap out so he doesn't go and die. It's not an expression of Adam's cockiness, it's an expression of his compassion even to an enemy. However, when Zeus transforms into his Adamous form, Adam for the first time puts up his guard. The maliciousness of that form forced even the reactionary and passive Adam to prepare for an assault. Yet even so, Adam keeps up, avoiding all Zeus' strikes and landing his own back in turn. However, made in their image or not, able to copy their moves or not, Adam was not born divine. He is not a god, he is human. And so his eyes begin to wear out. Our father starts to overheat. Still, Adam keeps going. The beautiful dance between the two fighters equal in almost all ways, allowed the crowds of both sides to begin to resonate. As Ares said, he never knew a fight could be so beautiful. Round 2 in a way is a microcosm of the entire Ragnarok conflict, with the king of the gods fighting the father of the humans. And as such, this moment of the beauty of the fight being highlighted may well be foreshadowing to the end of the series, where both sides acknowledge the beauty of the other and the fight between the two mighty races. Back to the fight itself though, as Loki says the two of them have become two containers, both on the verge of overflowing, and that once one does, the match will be settled. The two, god and human, have become as equal as can be. No godly nature will allow Zeus to win. The only thing that can decide it now is pure luck and fate. The fate the gods are meant to dictate. It's ironic in a way. The one called omnipotent and omniscient is powerless to random chance. Though sadly for us all, the bad luck fell not on Zeus but on Adam. A drop of blood through pure chance struck Adam in the eye, allowing Zeus to land a strike and more importantly, taking Eyes of the Lord out of play. Adam pushed on the defensive, tried to withstand the barrage of blows. In a way though, he is now fighting in his purest self. With no divine attributes to him, he's fighting as purely a human, using nothing but his human strength and his mighty willpower. His children pleaded for it to stop, that he's done enough, that they'd rather lose round 2 than see him getting beaten to death. But Adam, our father, had but one thought. Somewhere out there, a baby is crying. Damn it, I'm crying reading this. He thought somewhere out there, a baby is crying. And all he had to say to that baby was they shouldn't worry, because their dad's here and he'll protect them. And more importantly, he'll beat anyone up that tries to hurt them. Allowing himself to be struck again, Adam grabs hold of Zeus and with a smile on his face, the ultimate defiance of the gods, the bullies that would make his children cry, he unleashes one last counter-offensive. However, after all was said and done, one remained standing and the other fell to their knees. Zeus was done. The king of the gods had been made to kneel to a human. His will had been broken and he had been defeated. However, heartbreakingly, to all his children, Adam was the one whose heart had stopped. His human body just gave out. Even though he was still full of fighting will, even though his willpower eclipsed Zeus, allowing him to keep swinging even after death, he sadly passed on long before Zeus dropped. However, even if he passed, even if Adam the progenitor had died, his will, the fighting spirit that kept on swinging even after his death, remained, now passing on to his children and inspiring them to fight on to protect themselves. Because even if Daddy ain't around to save them, he can still give them the strength to stand up, fight for their own family, their own children, in tow. Adam is an inspiration to all of us of what a human should be. He is the greatest role model our race has, and of course he without a doubt is the best father in the goddamn world. And if you want to support this channel even further, then perhaps pledge to my Patreon or become a channel member so you can get your name at the end of the video, like Hikari Desu, Rinjak9696, General Tonyos, and Mr. Sputum. So with all that said and done, I've been Seth the Sin, the Deadly Sin of Geek, and I'm signing out. Stay safe, everyone.